karate masters actually use eye contact as a weapon. But most people think that eye contact is just so easy, right? It's just simple. Well, most people think that confident eye contact means this, right? Drilling the other person. So they either stare like a creep or they avoid attention altogether, and their eyes just go like darts everywhere, as if they are guilty of something. But if you held that stare that I just did, that really forceful stare in a cafe, they would not think you are confident. They would think you are cooked. And I say that because I'm a lawyer, I'm a professionally trained actor, I'm a black belt in karate, and in all three of those worlds, in the courtroom, on camera, in combat, one thing determines how seriously other people take you: your eyes. So today I'm going to give you an eye contact masterclass. We're going to go through a number of things here, and the first one is, why is this so challenging for you right now? We're going to go through the real reason that you feel threatened by eye contact, and why nothing has been wrong with you this whole time. Secondly, we're going to go through these 4 elements of black belt eye contact that I've put together. We're going to go through Zanshin eyes, Mushin mind, the Maai timing rule, and Metsuke placement. And as an actor, I'm going to give you some actor cheat codes on what to think when you're looking at the other person. And then I'm going to give you a 7-day training plan so that everything we go through becomes automatic, even if you are currently experiencing some sort of social anxiety. And stay with me till the end, because I'll also give you a really simple 3-second reset that you can use in mid-conversation with another person the moment you sense or start to sense yourself just spiraling. Okay, so let's start. Why is this so challenging? Okay, so you're in conversation with another person and you make eye contact, and suddenly your brain just starts to think, oh my God, this is too intense. This is abort mission, look away, look away. And so you do. And so you look away, but then you feel awkward because you looked away, and then you look back to the person, and then you start staring for longer than you originally intended, and then it just feels even more awkward than before. So the issue here is not with your eyes, it's with your mind. And research shows that people with higher social anxiety are more sensitive to direct gaze than others. And they're more likely to experience eye contact as judgment or a threat. And other studies actually show that we tend to use our gaze as a dominant signal. So dominant people tend to hold that eye contact longer, whereas submissive people or anxious people tend to give less of it or break it more quickly. So your nervous system is basically saying here, if I look for too long, they'll judge me. If I look away, they'll think I'm weak. So, let me just malfunction. That's better, isn't it? Now, I'm here to tell you that karate master eye contact is not about dominance. It's not about dominating the other person or the situation you're in. It's about calm control of yourself and the space between you and that other person. Calm control. That means that there's no death staring, there's no darting eyes, there's just a steady, relaxed presence. And to build that steady, relaxed presence, we're going to use 4 high-level karate concepts and apply them directly to your social life. So let's look at element 1 here. Where do we look? When I'm sparring, I'm not looking at my opponent's eyes. I'm using soft focus. So I'm aware of their whole body, their energy, their movement. Because if I lock my eyes onto their fists, for example, then I'm not going to see their kick that's coming to my ribs. So in conversation with others, some of us make eye contact like this. We are locked onto the other person like a laser. It feels aggressive, even if we don't mean it that way. Now, in Japanese martial arts, there's a concept called Zanshin, and it translates roughly as remaining mind or lingering spirit. So in karate, if you're punching, if you go to punch and you drop that Zanshin, you drop that remaining mind, then you fail. Your instructor will say no Zanshin. So instead of that punch looking like this, it will look like this. So you saw immediately my gaze went everywhere. It went from there to over here to, it was not, there was no Zanshin. So Zanshin means that you're present before, during, and after the action. So Zanshin eye contact looks like this. I'm looking at you, but I'm also aware of your body language. I'm aware of your vibe, the vibe of the room that we're in. And I'm taking in the greater you in addition to the greater room around us right now. And I can see the edges of the walls without having to look at them because they're in my peripheral vision. And my gaze is softer. And I might glance at your mouth when you're making a point. I might look at down at your gesture if you're gesturing. I might look back at your eyes. It's not darting around nervously, so it's not that, because I'm flowing naturally in the conversation with you. I'm present with the whole conversation, not just your eyeballs. And the Taoist principle here is what is called Wu Wei, which is, in other words, effortless action. So you are not forcing eye contact, you're just allowing it. And people feel that difference immediately. So instead of piercing one little dot, look at the triangle. So imagine a triangle. You've got your eye, your other eye, and then your mouth. So there's a triangle there, right? I'm going to look at your left eye, your right eye, down at your mouth, and then rotate between them. This is going to keep you engaged, but it's not aggressive. And then you're going to use your peripheral vision. So in karate, as I've just said, if I'm focused on someone's fist, then I'm going to get kicked in the head. So instead, we are trained to soften our focus so we can take in the whole person and the space around them. So in conversation with others, I want you to imagine that your eyesight is like a wide lens camera on your phone, like the 0.5x camera setting, right? So you're going to zoom out and you're going to take in their shoulders. You're going to see those too in your peripheral vision. You're going to see their whole body. You're going to see their hands. You're going to see the background around them. Not laser beaming into their pupils. And then the third point within this first element is we really need to anchor our breathing. Breathing is such an important, it's a critical thing here. I can't stress this enough. So you need to breathe from your diaphragm, diaphragmatic breathing, your belly, not up here. A lot of the breathing happens up here when we're tense and our shoulders come up here. You need to, basically the way we solve this is we inhale through the nose. So we breathe in for 4 counts, count of 4. And then out on the count of 6. So in on 4, out for 6, while you are keeping your gaze soft at that triangle. So let's hardwire this right now with the 30-second practice that I promised. So wherever you're sitting right now, wherever it may be, on the train, in the car, in your home, in the office, wherever, just pick a spot on the wall opposite you. Pick one spot, ideally at eye level. And what you're going to do is you're going to look at that spot, but what you're going to do is you're going to now take in the edges of the wall that you are looking at. So you can see both edges, but you're still looking at that spot. You're not looking at the edges. You're letting your peripheral vision take in the edges of the wall that you're looking at. Now breathe in for 4 counts and then out for 6. And then on every exhale, you're going to say, I'm here, I am safe. I'm here, I am safe. And by doing this for just 2 minutes a day, you're training your nervous system. Now, if that just clicked for you, if you actually felt the difference between a hard stare and a soft gaze, then just hit the like button below, because that lets me know that this is working for you and you're interested in this material. And it also helps me give you better value for future videos. Thank you. Now, let's move on to the second element, this mind chatter in your head. We need to stop overthinking and just be present. So when I'm practicing kata, I'm not thinking, is my stance correct? You know, am I looking the right way? Where am I looking? And all these little things. I'm not thinking any of that. What is called Mushin is the state where your mind, that mind commentary, it just drops away, it just fades away, and you just are. And in Zen, they call it the mind like still water. It is just clear and responsive. So let me demonstrate this for you right now. I'm talking with you right now, and I'm going to now be thinking in my head. I'm overthinking about a number of things as I'm speaking to you, and I'm thinking about some things that I may have forgotten to do earlier today, thinking about a few things I need to remember with my friends, certain things that I need to message for some family members. Immediately you can see that I'm not present with you in that conversation. My eyebrows are pulled down, there's a bit of a frown, a crease in my eyes. There's something going on in my eyes that is clearly I'm not present with you. Now, contrast that with, let's just forget about that for now, and let's try Mushin. With Mushin, I'm here with you right now. There is nothing else that matters to me right now but seeing you with me. Okay? So, there, and I'm starting to smile for no reason. I don't know why I'm smiling. Maybe because I can imagine you being here with me. That's some reason for me to smile. That I did not plan that whatsoever. So you see little surprises like that. They come out of the blue. They're beautiful moments that would not be possible if I was so locked into overthinking and the mind chatter. So Mushin eye contact is just this. I'm here, you're here, we're having a conversation together. We're going to see where this goes. There's no commentary track running in my head. None of that. It's just presence. And the way we train this in martial arts is through breath. Breath, breath, breath. So if mental chatter starts during sparring, we return to our breath. Inhale, 4 counts. Exhale, 6 counts. And the mind clears. And the same thing is for conversations with others. You might be thinking, God, am I staring too long? You know, did they notice that I'm staring? Did they notice that I just looked away? And that panic starts to rise within you. Okay, just notice that, consciously aware of that. Inhale, exhale, and then just see what happens. Now, element number 3, for how long? How long is it appropriate to look at this other person without it starting to become freaking weird? So the second karate concept is called Maai, and this is the interval or the timing or the space between you and your opponent. Now that space is not just distance, it's distance and timing and rhythm. And whoever controls Maai controls the fight. And in conversations, you have the same thing. You have Maai in conversations. Eye contact has timing. And creepy eye contact is just bad Maai. Okay, it's too close, it's too long, and there's no rhythm whatsoever. And we can fix this with a very simple rule, 60-70 rule, okay? So when you're speaking with someone else, when you're the one talking, you want to be looking at them for 60% of the time. And then when you're listening to the other person, you want to be looking at them for 70% of the time. Those are average baseline numbers, and I'm going by Western norms here, so I'm not accounting for Eastern norms. If you are, depending on your culture where you are located in the world, you know, long eye contact may be considered rude. So you really want to dial down those numbers if you need to and just go by local norms. So this Maai should come in waves, okay? Waves. It's not just one long, unbroken stare at the other person. It's, if you think of it this way, you want to, 3 things, right? You want to connect, float, return. So let's go to connect. With connect, we want to just start with the first few words, looking at them. So for example, hey Sam, just one thing I wanted to ask you, and see, I just looked away. So I started addressing Sam and then I looked away. That's connect. Then secondly, float. Exactly that, we're looking away. We're naturally breaking away and you're not escaping in doing this. In doing this, you're not escaping that other person, you're managing the Maai, okay? So all you're doing is taking a slight step back out of range, and that's respecting their own feelings too, so they don't get freaked out. And then thirdly, return. So once we've floated out here, we want to return back to the person. So you want to return back to them to give the key point that you want to make. So you might say, for example, and look, I just wanted to say, I really admire how you handled that. Okay, so we talk out here, talk, and then bring it back to them here. And that allows that point that you want to make to really land. It lands on the other person and hammers home that point so that it naturally feels, it just feels natural to them. And it feels natural to them because that last line that you want to give them, the point that matters most, your eyes are on them when it matters most. Now, here's a little practice you can do just to practice this every day without involving other humans just yet. I want you to bring out your phone and I want you to open up on your phone the camera app. And I want you to switch it to the front-facing camera and put it in video mode. And I want you to just talk about your day for 30 seconds and then press stop, okay? And then go back and watch yourself and then ask yourself, firstly, with connect, Did I connect at the start of each sentence? And then look at your float. Did I float occasionally instead of staring at the phone, at the camera on the phone? And then thirdly, return. So did I return back on keywords? Now, the fourth element, and this one is when we are in groups. This is for group conversations, and this one is where most people fall apart. But before I get to this, I just want to ask you a quick question. What do you find most challenging for yourself? Is it talking with one-on-one with people, just you and someone else? Is that hardest for you? Or do you find talking in groups, large group settings hardest? Is that most challenging for you? Which do you find most challenging? Let me know in the comments below, because hearing this from you gives me how I can best help you in future videos going forward. Okay, so let's move on to the fourth element. Where you look at others really depends on the context that you're in. So in my training, during kata, I'm looking at my imaginary opponent's eyes. Whereas during kumite, I'm staring at my opponent's chest and I'm taking in their whole body with my peripheral vision. And now the same principle applies for group conversations. Most people tend to lock onto one safe person that they find refuge in, and they tend to ignore everyone else in the conversation. Or it's either that, or their eyes just dart around nervously, looking at everyone sporadically, quickly, and their eyes never really land on anyone properly. Now, in Japanese martial arts, there's a concept called Metsuke, and it basically means how you place your gaze. And in Qigong, there's a saying that Qi flows where your mind goes. So basically, your eyes help direct that intention. So if your gaze is scattered, well, your presence is going to be scattered too. Whereas if your gaze is grounded and intentional, then people are going to feel your confident presence. So here's how you want to think about this. When you're in small groups, you want to think about the people in your group like a clock, okay? So I'm just going to draw a diagram here so we can visually see this together. So if we've got, a number of people here, it's a big group, and you want to pick someone at the 12, so this is going to be your 12 o'clock, someone up here. You want to pick someone at 4 o'clock, down here, and you want to pick someone at the 8 o'clock, so we'll say around here. And these are going to be your 3 anchors. You want 3 anchors in a group. So we can look at this person up here, we can confidently look at this person here, and we can confidently look at this person here. So this saves us from being overwhelmed by all the people, right? So when you're speaking, you can land your point on one of these anchors. And don't think that you're ignoring everyone else in the group, because if you're landing your point on the 12 o'clock here, you're saying something to them, you're saying one sentence to your 12 o'clock, you're keeping your Zanshin eyes, remember? So your peripheral vision will be covering these people here on the sides, because you've got that soft gaze, remember? And so you can rotate through these 3 anchors here. You can go here, 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 and let everyone in between feel included in your peripheral awareness. And if there's a quieter person in the conversation, say this person here is being very quiet, you can actually make them your anchor. You can adjust your anchors. So we'll make this person the anchor now. And then we might say, hey, Sam, what did you think about that? What do you have to say about this? And so that way we're using this is our anchor, this one is and this is anchor, and we're just sweeping between them. So your Metsuke literally redistributes the status, the power dynamics inside the group that you're in. And if you're in bigger groups, so if you're in a boardroom, a classroom, or some sort of event that you have to speak at, it's the exact same concept here, but we're just zooming out, okay? So in that situation, we would be then thinking in zones, not faces anymore. We'd be thinking in zones. So we'd be looking left, center, right. And for each main idea that you have, you want to land that idea in one of those zones, and you want to sweep between the zones. So you'll deliver one sentence to one zone, and then you'll sweep to the next. One sentence, sweep to the next. Now, when you are you're looking in a zone, please do not look directly above the person's, like look above their head here. Don't do that. You want to look directly at the person. Now, you can have absolutely perfect Zanshin, Mushin, Maai, and Metsuke, but if your thoughts inside, mentally, when you're doing all these things are, do they think I'm weird? Am I blinking too much? All that doesn't matter, because you're still going to be broadcasting this insecurity. And there's actually nonverbal research that's been done that suggests that our facial signals can leak cues to the other person that suggests that we feel composed or nervous, dominant or submissive, all without you knowing. You're giving that information to the other person. So to stop that from happening, here are three little actor tricks you can use. The first one being, well, as actors, we're taught to, when we're speaking to camera, we're taught to deliver to someone that we really care about. So it's a close friend or a family member. So with that said, next time you're speaking to someone in conversation, have this thought. Have the thought of, I'm now speaking with someone who's one of my people. One of my people. And this person just really gets me. They get me. Have that, just try that, give it a go. So this person is one of my people and they really get me. And what you might find is your eyes just soften and your micro expressions, they get warmer naturally. Secondly, karate ethics are big on this concept of respect for yourself and respect for others. So instead of thinking, please like me, do they like me? Switch it to, I respect you and I respect myself. Let's see if we're a good fit. And just that one mental line silently in your head that straightens your spine and it changes that thinking from needy to equal. You're equal with that person. And the last little actor cheat code is don't give a huge smile. It just reads as fake. What you want to do is you want to allow the edges of your eyes, these corners of your eyes, just to lift by 5%. So what I like to think of is just imagine the edges of your eyes, you're cupping them. The edges of your eyes, and they're just lifting. If I was to do that right now, it might look something like this. And that will naturally allow your mouth then, the edges of your mouth, just to the edges to up by 5% too. And that's just going to make your micro expressions a lot warmer. It's going to allow you to relax. It's going to allow you to be open and you're not trying too hard. Now, the 3-second reset, the emergency reset that I promised at the start of this video, if you're ever in mid-conversation and your brain's just going, oh my God, this is too intense, abort. Okay, 3 seconds to help with that, and it goes like this. Firstly, what you want to do is you just want to drop your shoulders, okay? You might notice if you were to zoom out and look at yourself from out-of-body experience that your shoulders are up here because you're so tense. So you just want to drop your shoulders. So what you can do to do that is just exhale. So inhale, or more mechanically what you can do is you can actually lift your shoulders up, pull them back, and then exhale and allow them just to fall down naturally. And you'll find that they go down a lot lower than you thought. And then the second thing you want to do is you want to, instead of drilling into that other person's pupils, just look, this is the little hack, right? You want to look at their eyebrow or just at their cheek for one beat. So instead of looking here, just pull your focus up to their eyebrow. They won't notice. They won't be noticing this. Pull your focus up to their eyebrow or just to their cheek for one beat. So you're still engaged, but you're relaxing yourself by doing this. And then you want to come back to the triangle that I mentioned earlier on in this video, right? So you want to come back to left eye, right eye, their mouth, and in doing this, you want to be thinking, I am here, I am safe. Now, if you want more martial arts philosophy like this applied to real social skills, the kind of things that actually help in conversations with others, then you definitely want to consider subscribing to this channel. And I also promised you a 7-day training plan for all of this that we've gone through to become automatic, right? So the link for that is in the description below. It is completely free, and you might want to grab that right now while I've still got that up on my site. So I definitely encourage you to get that. So let's recap. We've got Zanshin, soft focus awareness. We're not laser beaming into their pupils. We are taking in their whole body. It's a soft focus. And secondly, we've got Mushin. This is no mind presence. So when the mental chatter starts, that commentary, we return to our breath, and by doing so, we clear that commentary track. Thirdly, Maai. So when you're talking, look at them 60% of the time. When you're listening, look at them 70% of the time. And fourthly, Metsuke. So this is strategic gaze placement. So different scenarios that you're in require different strategies. And then we looked at the actor cheat codes, and they're all about respect and kindness, not approval seeking. And if this whole video that we've gone through today, if this helped, drop a comment below and let me know which of those you're keen to start right now today, which of them you find most helpful, and practice it for the next 24 hours in every conversation. I'm here to tell you that you can train your eyes like a karate master. And by doing so, people will feel your confident presence before you've even said a word. Now, if social situations still drain you, even if your eye contact is on point and perfect, then I've got a video on just that. It's the next piece of the puzzle, and it's over here, and you might find that extremely helpful. I'll see you there.